Once everyone's ready, Heimir?
Yeah, hi and welcome. Yeah, just a little bit on the squad, explaining some things. First of all, we had a big problem selecting the 23. The biggest problem we had since I came in. Reason being, all players are fitting well, or most players are fitting well. Only Robbie, Max O'Leary, Andrew, and Smallbone has been struggling. I think he is starting to train now, but we rule these guys out. But a lot of players that we have been using and leading up to this game are playing well. So a good headache for us. Leaving out players like James Abankwa, Callum O'Dowda, Seamus, Molumby, Andy Moran, Conor Coventry playing well now. So a lot of players, Festi, Rocco, a lot of players playing well. Sykesy as well. Louis Barry, another good option that we've been looking at. So a lot of options we had for this camp, but we opted to go for this squad. We feel really confident with this squad we have. Reason being, like we hoped, players started their season really well. We have players scoring in their clubs. We have players playing well, man of the match performances, and then we have a lot of captains this season. So we have Nathan captain at Brentford. We have Josh Collin at Burnley, Nighty, Bristol, even Scales. He was captain of Celtic last game. Who am I forgetting? Jimmy Dunn, Queen Park. So yeah, a lot of captains showing that there's more and more leadership growing in this team, more leaders emerging. So we're just looking really forward to this games in September. But we know this is it. This is it. Now it gets serious, and all the things we've been doing on up till now has just been leading up to this one, and we know the real importance of especially this first game in Aviva, and I hope we'll get a lot of support. And we know it's going to be a sellout Saturday evening, going to be a sellout there, but we hope that the fans will come in, show up, and make the atmosphere, not come to enjoy it, make the atmosphere. And in the past, a few season ticket holders have had tickets but not shown up. I hope there's going to be every seat filled in Aviva, and we have the support that is going to push us for a win. Something else?
Yeah.
Something else? Yeah, no, nothing else. So we just jump to questions.
Perfect. Anne-Marie, do you want to get started on questions?
Hi, Heimir.
Yeah, anyway.
You mentioned it there, the great form that a lot of the players seem to be in. Just generally, how much of a difference does that make to you and the squad when you have players coming into the camp that are just up and running and ready to go?
Huge. It's both the form, we know they are fit, and I think maybe a little of this is due to that we gave them the summer off. So the likes of Josh Collin, we didn't call him up, and more players. Finnasas starting the season well, and it looks like it was good for them to get the rest over the summer. But it just makes a big difference knowing that they are in good condition, good form. They are leading their clubs. So no, it makes a huge difference.
I know since you've come in, you've been very clear about targeting the World Cup of 2026, and the goal is to qualify. When you look at these two games coming up, realistically, if we are to qualify, do we need 6 points from them?
We would survive with 4. It's okay. 6 is better than 4, but we would survive with 4. But it's just how this competition is. Normally, it takes a year. It's almost just 2 months, and it's over. September, October, November, early November is the last camp, and just the tiny details, missing a player can make a huge difference in this campaign. And let's just hope that everybody will be fit and flying these 3 months for us. Yeah, but given that we win these games, everybody will be chasing us until the end of the campaign. If we don't, we will be chasing others. So that's just how it is, and it's always tougher to be chasing than leading.
You spoke in the June window with the need to experiment and have a look at a few things. Did you get some answers there, and are you pretty close now to having a starting 11 in mind for both these games?
Yes and no. It's going to be two different games for sure. It's going to be two different games, and the travel to Armenia is going to be tough for everyone. I think it's a 7-hour flight, time difference, and it's a late kickoff against Hungary, meaning that the next day we'll go traveling, and then we just have one day to train in Armenia, and then another game. So we'll just see how players are. We might need to rotate, but hopefully everybody will be fit after the game and happy. So that's what really matters, is that we do this 2 games really well and plan really well, because it's going to be a tough trip to Armenia after the first game.
Nathan, please.
Hi, Heimir. When you look at your midfield options there and the players you've gone with, and Jack Taylor and Killian Phillips, what is it that you've seen from them that maybe separates them from some of the players who didn't make the squad?
Well, it was very close. Like I said, is a lot of good midfielders. Maloney, Moran, and Connor, similar players, all similar players. I think, and I guess everybody knows Killian came in the summer with a lot of energy. So sometimes you need that in the team in certain moments in the game. Bossum Laval comes in with physical presence, done brilliant for Stoke in the opening of the season. And Jack Taylor is playing regularly now for Ipswich, starting all games. Last year he was in and out, more out than in, and he's playing on a regular basis. Has been doing well as well. So no, it's just details. And listen, we probably, a lot of these players will be unhappy not to be selected, and in a way I understand that. But like we said, these games will come fast, and we definitely will need these players in the next 2 camps. So I hope everybody will be ready when they're called upon. Another thing as well is that some players will have 2 games in their clubs before they meet up on Sunday here. So a lot of things can happen, and I hope everybody is ready to rock with us if they're called upon. But we need these players, all these players, and that's why we've given so many players a chance to play and show what they can do.
Seamus Coleman is fit but hasn't been playing. How did he react to not being in the 23?
So we went to Everton training ground Friday and spoke with our players there and the coach, etc. And he's close to playing. So he is in the squad. His numbers in training are good, and he is eager to start. He really wants to come and help us, and he knows the importance of this camp. Just shows his mental strength as well, coming from a bad injury and just returning back to the Premiership. Hopefully he'll get his minutes, and he might even play League Cup tomorrow. We'll see. But once he starts playing, of course he is. We really want to have him in the squad, but it would just be a wrong example picking a player that hasn't played for almost a year.
When you look at the 10 games you've been in charge for, and then look at the challenge that Hungary are going to bring in a couple of weeks' time, which game do you think is most similar tactically to what Hungary will have?
I think the last game we played at home is a good example of a lot of things in Hungary. So good combination play, quick passes, individual quality in Hungary. Definitely, we all know some of the players that are playing in the Premier League, top class. So I would say that was a good preparation, playing Senegal here at home. Yeah, England maybe a little bit different style of play, but I would say the Hungarians have had the same coach since 2018, so they're well drilled. There has been a big stability in what they are doing, so they know each other quite well, meaning that understanding is good. Everything goes quick. Good shots from outside, so we need to really go out and block. and a similar strength for Armenia. They're really good shooters from outside. So a lot of threats from Hungary that we need to be aware of when we're playing.
Captain, please, thank you.
Heimir, how are things?
Hey, Gavin.
How much of a loss is Robbie Brady? What other left back options do you think you have there? And is there a concern of a relative lack of options there?
No, not concerned. Big loss, of course. He's been probably the most consistent player since I came in. But listen, it's always like this in a national team. You cannot expect everybody to be fit. So we don't dwell on that. We just look at what other options we have. And it's Ryan can play there. Scalesy can play there. Doc can play there and has played for us there. So we have a lot of options. We can also change formations, etc. So no, we have a lot of options, and that's the good thing about this squad. We have players that can play more than one position, so easy to change in game as well.
And what are your impressions of Evan Ferguson's move to Roma and his start to life there?
First impression, really good. Looking at him, even seems fitter. Looking at him, pictures look great without sleeves. No, and then first game was brilliant. It's tough for a striker to play in Italy. It's not a lot of spaces. It's physical defenders, and he coped with it really well. And I hope he'll bring that into our camp.
Ed, please.
Just a quick one, I suppose, on the leaders you talked about in the squad. Captains, you have a lot of captains, a lot of leaders in the squad. When you look at that squad, does that make it easier to leave someone of Seamus's experience out of the dressing room, I suppose, that influence he has?
No, it's always tough to leave Seamus out, no matter what. And there's not many here with the experience he has. So, like I said, we really wanted to include him, and hopefully next camp he will be in the squad. But you would always want a player on with his quality and experience to be in the squad.
And then just in terms of the two of your main strikers playing in the continental Europe, does that bring something different to the squad, and especially going into a European competition? Is that something that you see as helpful?
Really doesn't matter if you are playing regularly and scoring. That is what gives you confidence. Where you do it is, I think doesn't matter much, but it's good leagues for both of them. And Troy has just been on fire since pre-season and from last season as well. So it's a good step for him. I know there was a lot of interest in him, but he wanted to stay. He feels good there, and he wanted to stay, and I really like that. I think he needs stability, and especially if he continues like this, it's really good for us.
Connor, please.
Hi, Heimir. What do you think Boston Wall can bring to the squad this time around? I know he came in June, but he wasn't, you would say, 100% or playing regularly, and now he's playing regularly for Stoke. He's been excellent. Do you see him more as a centre half or a midfielder? And obviously, because of seems more injury related stuff at Stoke at the moment, that he's playing at centre half.
Mm-hmm. No, he's one of the players that can play both or two positions really well. I think at Stoke he's played 2.5 games as a centre back and 1.5 game in midfield, and it's no bother for him to just step up again in another position. But what he brings, because both John and Paddy have been working with him before, had him last summer in the camp, so they have spoken highly of him. He's been more or less injured since I came, so that was good to have him in June. And what he brings is both quality and physicality.
And I know there's a week left in the transfer window still, but if the window ended now, would you be happy with how it's gone for Irish players? Like, we've had Evan get his move, Quivine. There's probably a surprise that maybe Finn Azaz and Jason Knight haven't got a move to the Premier League yet, and even like Andy Moran has gone to LA.
Yeah, I think it's good. Now, I have, of course, a lot of experience from MLS, and it's a really good league, especially for young players. When I was in Jamaica, I had a lot of players playing in the MLS. A good, tough league, a lot of traveling, kind of like an international team. When you play in the MLS, you need to travel time zones and stuff to play away games. So it will be interesting to see how Andy will do. I think he's waiting still for his clearance to is a really good league. And about the transfers, I think just with looking at the players now, even the one you mentioned, Finn and Nighty, both playing really well, so they are happy where they are. Obviously, with playing well, there's always going to be speculations, and clubs want you. So we'll see. But if it's like this, I'm happy with where players are if they are playing on a regular basis and doing well.
Okay.